So
but the list looks a little bit heavy on the side of the spirits.
Yes, yes. It is even more...
Rather than the regular bottle of beer on the shelf.
It is even more pronounced. The tax increase is even more pronounced
on spirits.
Exactly, yes. So
and when we say spirits, we have
wine,
yes,
champagne,
vodka.
Cognac, vodka, and so on and so forth. Yes,
yes.
It's even more pronounced on those spirits. We're even hearing that the distillers
that are largely imported.
Yes.
Not really produced here.
Exactly.
We have few producers of spirits anyway.
Yeah, some domestic distillers, but...
Yes.
The larger proportion is international distillers. So you can say that some distillers are even, they haven't affected the price change on their products. They're still trying to assess the impact, still trying to wait and see if they can still consult with the government.
When this news came out, the Distillers Association, I remember that in the news, that they said, look, this is not going to be fair on them because their colleagues in the same alcoholic or alcohol manufacturing segment of the industry were getting fair excise duty, but the current one is heavier on the spirits rather than the regular bottle of beer.
Yes. I think there's a thin line between fair taxes and when it now becomes punitive. I think for the spirits is treading on that punitive tax.
Line,
yes, exactly. So it is very difficult for those consumers to pass on the cost to the consumers but then again, they're luxury goods. So if you want to consume those goods, you should be willing to pay higher.
Are you sure every item on this list is luxury goods? If you consider some locally produced spirits, which traditionally were used for traditional social events, weddings, for example. Isn't it?
Yes.
You going, I'm already married, you're not. No. So if you're going to see your in-laws, you've got to go with some spirits.
Of course, that's a tradition. Yes, of course.
Yes. So that's not luxury.
You can say that.
Maybe I'm making a case here for domestic or indigenous distillers.
I think there is a case to be made, if to be quite honest. And I think we would see. I think the government and distillers are still consulting. So in the end, this tax might be reversed for those distillers, for those spirits.
Maybe not reversed. Maybe just shaved a little.
Exactly, or maybe yes.
I don't want it to be reversed. If just for my honest opinion. My opinion shouldn't come out. But I think for indigenous producers, keep our industry safe. Maybe we just give them a little bit lower tax and hit the imported products a little bit more higher. But that looks like it's burning. But again, what else is burning this week? It looks like this looks like a top issue. But we have currency as part of the conversation for this week, and again, the FX.
Yes, the Forex markets. The CBN news came out yesterday that the CBN has increased margins for BDC operators from 2 naira to 3 naira. So hopefully that should quell some of the discontent that the BDCs have been levying against the government. I think they have been, for as long as I can remember, they have been saying their margins are too narrow, that how will they survive? So hopefully this should provide some respite to those BDC operators.
I'm not too sure anywhere in the world where bureau de change business is like banking. You just take from here and you give to this one. So your margin shouldn't be like, hold on a second, you're doing a number trade.
Yes.
Yeah, because what you do is just trade currency.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you give me dollars and you collect naira. Why they're looking for very large margins?
Oh, it's relative at the end of the day. If some might think 3 naira is still small. So some might say 3 naira is quite
a margin of 3 naira? Yes. That's a whole lot of money. I'm not sure. You get a certain currency anywhere in the developed markets and you get about $3 margin. Well, you don't get that. 3 naira.
I think 3 naira
is because of the value of the naira. If you look at it, if you compare it really, maybe that has to do with the value of the naira. But I think 3 naira is a lot. But I'm not sure the Bureau BDC guys are going to like that.
And we've also seen the CBN injected $210 million yesterday. If you add that to what he injected on Friday, over $393. So compared to the first week of June and first week of May, we've seen a significant increase in the amount the CBN has injected. So you can see the CBN is really trying to avert a forex crisis by injecting more money into the market, and that is working. Naira has been flat for quite a while now, so that is good news. That is good news.
Well, somehow it looks like finally the central bank and the Bureau de Change, the FX Bureau, seem to have come to an agreement to work together and work as partners to move forward. Well, you've got to give something, you got to take something. So the central bank needs the BDCs, and the BDCs need the central bank.
Yes, indeed.
So it's a two-way traffic. Yes, but if we go back to what else is burning, oil prices seem to be tapering.
Yes, oil prices are a bit. I think the market is waiting for the OPEC meeting on June 22nd. The future of that production cut deal, whether it will be extended or whether it will be halted, I think that will determine the direction of oil prices in the second half of the year. So that is one meeting to look out for. Another good news, I think you pointed out earlier in your program. You said the bloodbath in the stock market has finally been halted. So I think investors have been provided a bit of respite there.
Yesterday, yes, I just recalled and said, hey, what are the numbers looking like? And said, well, that is positive. I said, okay. At least we got a bit of a respite.
Yes.
But again, if we move towards what else is making the headlines, and if we go through the good news and also good news, part of the bad news has to do with our power output falling below 4,000. And I'm trying to get us a picture of how we started the month of June in terms of the numbers. If you just move that, guys, and look at the power generation analysis and impact on June the 2nd, technically how we started the new month. What's the number? Read that for us.
Well, after June 2nd, power output was 3,628 megawatts. For the past few weeks, power output has been very volatile. I can't say for one that power output in my area has been a nightmare. It's been very bad. So there's been a lot of demand for diesel, and that is why the price of diesel is still extremely high, 235 naira per litre. I think that's a year-to-date high. So that is a bad news. That's bad news for today. And the major constraint remains gas constraint. There's still not insufficient gas supplied to the grid. Another constraint is grid constraint. We're seeing high-frequency constraints. Another constraint is water constraint at 285 megawatts. So,
I understand how all that go into the not too sweet PMI that we saw in May. We need to look at this we need to look at this moving forward. Thank you very much for your time. Let's hang it in there for today. Let's hang it on the electricity polls, as it were. Let's come back after the break. We'll talk about the marketplace.